What does it take to build artificial intelligence for a billion people who mostly do not speak English? That is the question Sarvam AI was founded to answer. In this deep dive, we cover everything: the founders and their remarkable histories, the technology they have built, how the Indian government is backing them, how you can use their APIs today, their pricing, and where they are headed next. This is the most complete video on Sarvam AI you will find anywhere. Let us begin. Sarvam AI was founded in August 2023 in Bengaluru. The name itself is Sanskrit for everything or universal, a deliberate choice that signals the founder's ambition. The company emerged directly from AI for Bharat, an open-source initiative at IIT Madras that had spent years building language datasets and models for Indian languages as a non-profit research effort. The founders saw that research alone was not enough. To truly solve the Indian language problem at scale, they needed a company with capital, engineering talent, and the ability to move fast. So they made the leap from academia to startup, taking their mission with them. Dr. Vivek Raghavan is not your typical startup founder. His career reads like a who's who of India's digital transformation. He studied electrical and electronics engineering at IIT Delhi, then earned his PhD in electrical and computer engineering from Carnegie Mellon University in the United States, one of the top computer science programs in the world. He began his corporate career as vice president at Magma Design Automation, a chip design software company. But what defines Vivek is his public service work. For nearly 12 years, he volunteered with IndiaAI, the Unique Identification Authority of India, helping build the biometric systems behind Aadhaar, the world's largest biometric identity system covering over 1 billion Indians. He did this not as a paid employee but as a volunteer, because he believed in the mission. He then moved to the X-Step Foundation, a not-for-profit focused on learning outcomes for children, where he worked on open digital infrastructure. Through X-Step, he also advised AI for Bharat and Bhashani, the government's national language translation mission. Vivek is the person who understands how to build things that work at Indian scale, inside Indian systems, for Indian citizens. That is what he brings to Sarvam. Dr. Pratyush Kumar is the deep AI technical mind behind Sarvam. He studied electrical and electronics engineering at IIT Bombay, another of India's most elite engineering institutions. He then went to ETH Zurich, Switzerland, one of the top technical universities in the world, where he earned his PhD in computer engineering in 2014. He joined IBM Research as a research scientist in 2015, working on advanced AI projects. He later spent 2 years at Microsoft Research. Between 2018 and 2021, he served as faculty at IIT Madras, and it was here that he co-founded AI for Bharat, the open-source initiative that would eventually give birth to Sarvam. He also co-founded 1/4 Labs, an AI education and consulting venture. Pratyush has published extensively on natural language processing, machine learning, and Indic language models. If Vivek is the builder of digital infrastructure, Pratyush is the builder of AI infrastructure. Together they are a formidable combination. To understand Sarvam, you must understand AI for Bharat. Founded at IIT Madras, AI for Bharat was an open-source initiative with a single goal: build AI tools for Indian languages that anyone can use for free. Over several years, the team built massive multilingual datasets covering Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, Punjabi, Odia, and more. They built speech recognition models, translation models, and language models, all open source, all freely available on Hugging Face. These models became the backbone of India's language AI ecosystem. Government agencies used them. Startups built on them. Researchers cited them. When Pratyush and Vivek founded Sarvam, they did not start from scratch. They started from a position of deep expertise, existing data, and existing relationships that took years to build. That head start matters enormously. Sarvam has attracted serious capital from serious investors. In December 2023, just months after founding, they raised $41 million in a combined seed and Series A round led by Lightspeed Venture Partners, with participation from Peak XV Partners, formerly Sequoia India, and Khosla Ventures. This was a remarkable achievement for a company less than 6 months old. But the bigger news came later. Sarvam raised a $300 million Series B, with Bessemer Venture Partners, Nvidia, and Amazon among the backers. This round valued the company at approximately $1.5 billion, making Sarvam AI a unicorn, and one of the fastest Indian startups to reach that milestone. The participation of Nvidia and Amazon is particularly significant. These are not passive financial investors. They are strategic partners who bring compute, cloud infrastructure, and distribution. When NVIDIA backs you, you get access to cutting-edge GPU clusters. When Amazon backs you, you potentially get deep integration with ORs. The Indian government is not sitting on the sidelines of the AI race. In 2024, the government launched the IndiaAI Mission, a multi-thousand crore initiative to build India's AI infrastructure, fund foundational model development, and ensure that AI serves Indian citizens in Indian languages. Under the IndiaAI Mission, Mate Y, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, selected Sarvam AI as one of the key companies to develop an indigenous foundational AI model. This is not just a certificate. It comes with access to government-allocated GPU clusters for training, subsidized compute, and institutional credibility. The government disbursed over 100 crore rupees to support GPU access for selected companies. For a company building sovereign AI, this is exactly the kind of public-private partnership that can accelerate timelines dramatically. Sarvam is also connected to Bhashani, the government's national language translation mission, which has been working to make digital services accessible in all 22 scheduled Indian languages. Sarvam does not operate in isolation. It is part of a broader sovereign AI ecosystem that is taking shape in India. Bharatjan, an IIT Bombay-led consortium, is the largest beneficiary of government AI funding, receiving over 1,000 crore rupees from the IndiaAI Mission. Bharatjan is building multimodal foundational models covering text, image, audio and video in Indian languages. The government is funding 12 organizations in total to develop sovereign foundational models. This is India's version of what the United States did with DARPA funding, or what France did with Mistral AI. The goal is simple: ensure that India does not become entirely dependent on American or Chinese AI infrastructure for its digital future. Sarvam fits into this ecosystem as the commercially deployed enterprise-grade layer, taking research models and making them production-ready for banks, governments, and businesses. What has Sarvam actually built? Let us go technical. At the core is Sarvam 1, their large language model trained natively on Indic languages. Unlike GPT-4 or Gemini, which were primarily trained on English text with some multilingual data added on top, Sarvam 1 was architected from the ground up to handle the structural differences of Indian languages, agglutinative morphology in Tamil and Kannada, the Devanagari script family for Hindi and Marathi, the Arabic-derived Nastaliq script for Urdu, and so on. In February 2026, Sarvam introduced 2 new large language models at the AI Impact Summit. These were subsequently released as open source under the Apache License 2, available on Hugging Face and AI Kosh, India's own AI model registry. On the speech side, Sarvam has built best-in-class models for automatic speech recognition and text-to-speech across Indian languages, with natural-sounding voices that capture the rhythms and accents of regional speech, not just transliterated English pronunciation. Sarvam has moved well beyond research into production deployments. Their voice agent technology can conduct complete conversations in Indian languages, understanding natural spoken input, reasoning about it, and responding appropriately. They have deployed voice agents for consumer lending, an AI that calls borrowers in their local language, explains loan terms, answers questions, and captures responses. They have built document intelligence tools that can read scanned Indian language documents, extract structured data, and process them at scale. 35 million pages digitized and processed since February 2026, which led to a 67% price reduction as volume brought down costs. Their APIs power customer support systems, regional content generation, government citizen services, and fintech applications across India. Sarvam AI provides a full developer API platform at sarvam.ai. Getting started is straightforward. You go to the website, sign up for an account, and you immediately receive 1,000 rupees worth of free credits to explore the APIs. The documentation is at docs.sarvam.ai, which covers all available endpoints with examples in Python, JavaScript, and curl. The platform offers several key APIs. The Chat Completion API lets you send messages to the Sarvam language model and receive responses in Indian languages. The Speech-to-Text API transcribes spoken audio in Indian languages to text. The Text-to-Speech API converts written text to natural-sounding audio. The Translation API translates between Indian languages and English. The Document Parsing API extracts text and structure from scanned documents. Authentication is via API key. You include your key in the request header as authorization bearer your key. The base URL for all API calls is api.sarvam.ai. The interface will feel familiar if you have used OpenAI's API, as Sarvam follows similar conventions. Sarvam AI pricing is transparent and denominated in Indian rupees, which is itself a statement about who they are building for. Every account starts with 1,000 rupees in free credits, enough to explore all the APIs meaningfully. For chat completions using the language model, input tokens cost 4 rupees per million tokens, cached input costs 2.5 rupees per million tokens, and output tokens cost 16 rupees per million tokens. To give you a sense of scale, 1 million tokens is roughly 750,000 words, an enormous amount of text. Speech processing, both speech-to-text and text-to-speech, is priced at 45 rupees per hour of audio, billed to the nearest second. So processing 1 minute of audio costs about 75 paise. Translation is priced at 30 rupees per 10,000 characters, billed per character. Document parsing with the Vision API costs just 50 paise per page, and this was recently cut by 67% from the earlier price. For startups and developers in India, these prices are significantly more affordable than equivalent international APIs priced in dollars. The use cases for Sarvam AI span virtually every sector of the Indian economy. In banking and financial services, banks use Sarvam to power vernacular loan processing. Customers can apply, ask questions, and receive updates in their native language. In agriculture, voice agents can reach farmers in rural areas, deliver crop advisory in local dialects, and capture responses even from users who cannot read or write. In healthcare, Sarvam-powered tools can transcribe doctor-patient conversations in regional languages, enabling better record-keeping in rural clinics. In education, content can be auto-translated and narrated in regional languages, expanding reach to first-generation learners. In government services, citizen helplines powered by Sarvam can handle queries in 10+ languages, reducing the language barrier that has historically excluded hundreds of millions of Indians from digital public services. In e-commerce, product listings and customer support can be localized at scale without human translation. One of Sarvam's distinguishing characteristics is its genuine commitment to open source. In early 2026, they released 2 of their large language models under the Apache License 2, one of the most permissive open-source licenses available. This means any individual startup or organization can download, use, fine-tune, and deploy these models for free, including for commercial purposes. The models are hosted on Hugging Face, the world's leading AI model hub, and also on AI Kosh, India's own national AI model registry. This open-source strategy serves multiple purposes. It builds community trust and adoption. It allows researchers and startups to build on Sarvam's foundation without paying per API call. It creates an ecosystem of fine-tuned specialized models, and it positions Sarvam as the steward of India's AI commons, similar to how Linux became the foundation of enterprise computing even though many companies build commercial products on top of it. How does Sarvam compare to the competition? Globally, OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic all offer multilingual APIs that include some Indian language support. But their Indian language capabilities are secondary, trained primarily for English with multilingual data added. They also price in dollars, which at current exchange rates makes them more expensive for Indian developers and enterprises. Domestically, Sarvam's main peers are companies like Nani AI, which focuses on voice AI for Indian languages in the enterprise space, and Krutrim, backed by Ola founder Bhavish Agarwal, which is building an Indian AI assistant. Bharat Gen, while government-funded and research-oriented, could also produce open models that overlap with Sarvam's offerings. Sarvam's competitive advantage lies in the depth of their Indic language data, the quality of their speech models specifically, their government relationships, and the fact that they are the only Indian AI company that has crossed the unicorn valuation threshold with major global strategic investors. Sarvam's path is not without obstacles. The Indian AI market, while enormous in potential, is also highly price-sensitive. Convincing enterprises to pay for AI in a market that expects digital services to be cheap or free is a real challenge. Training and running large models requires enormous compute, and while government GPU subsidies help, they are not unlimited. Talent is scarce. The number of engineers in India who can work on frontier AI model training is small, and competition from Google, Microsoft, Meta, and global AI labs is fierce. There is also the question of whether sovereign AI infrastructure can keep pace with the capabilities being developed by American and Chinese labs operating at 10 or 100 times the scale. These are real constraints, but the team at Sarvam has already demonstrated they can punch above their weight class. Where is Sarvam headed? The $300 million Series B gives them significant runway. The roadmap points in several directions simultaneously. First, multimodal models that understand images, audio, and video alongside text, in Indian languages. Second, deeper integration with the India stack, Aadhaar authentication, UPI payments, DigiLocker documents, creating AI that works natively inside India's digital public infrastructure. Third, a sovereign AI cloud offering for Indian government agencies and regulated enterprises that need their data to stay within Indian borders. Fourth, expansion to other global South markets, Southeast Asia, Africa, the Middle East, where language diversity creates the same problem that India has, and where solutions built for India scale naturally. Fifth, continued open-source releases to build community and establish Sarvam as the reference architecture for IndiaAI globally. Sarvam AI is one of the most important technology companies being built in India today. Not because of the hype or the valuation, but because of what they are trying to do: build AI that works for every Indian in every language at a price that every Indian business can afford. The founders have decades of combined experience building digital infrastructure for India. The government is backing them. Global investors are betting on them. And the technology is already in production, serving real use cases at scale. If you are a developer, go to docs.sarvam.re, grab your free 1,000 rupee credits and try the APIs today. If you are an enterprise, reach out to their team about deploying voice agents or document intelligence in your organization. If you are a researcher, download their open-source models from Hugging Face and build on them. India is building its AI future. Sarvam AI is at the center of it. If this video was useful to you, please subscribe and share it with someone building in India. More AI deep dives are coming every week.